Hello, everybody. This is Mike Hendrix, and James Cronk is with me today, one of my most favorite people in golf. And James, I just wanted to thank you for coming to our conference in Ohio on March 3rd. You're going to be a keynote speaker. You're going to have a half day workshop on Monday leading into the conference. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming all the way from Canada, and not Toronto, by the way, from Western Canada, and making time for us. So James, thank you very much.
Mike, my pleasure. And I can't wait. You're right. I am in Vancouver, but I'm thrilled to be coming to the conference in Ohio. I've never been there. Very excited. I'm very excited about seeing the club that's hosting the event and looking forward to it.
Yeah, Westbrook Country Club with Donald Ross, that's been fully redesigned in terms of the clubhouse, and next up for them is the golf course. And I'm really excited because I know you make it a practice of speaking with lots of clubs in Florida. You kind of go on this Florida swing that a lot of people talk about. And I feel like it's kind of a cool get that we got you to come to Ohio, and you're going to share all your knowledge with us in the Buckeye State. And by the way, it won't really just be people from Ohio. We know people from
Right.
Pennsylvania and Indiana are coming, and Michigan, and so we're excited to have all those people come to the conference. But tell us a little bit about the workshop. I think when people hear the word workshop, they're like, "Oh my God, is there going to be homework? What do I got to do?" Tell us about the workshop some.
Well, let's talk about what I'm going to be speaking, obviously, on the conference day, right? As a keynote presentation. And I love keynotes. You get a chance to share your story, share your best practices. Mike, I'm going to be talking about people. I'm going to be talking about hiring, finding, training, managing, motivating, firing people. It's like, everything that has to do with HR and the club and hospitality business, whether you are private, whether you're daily fee, whether you're municipal, whether you're resort. We all know right now these days that managing people and finding people and motivating people is a lot of work, and it is totally different than when I was a young up and comer in the club business. So one of the great things about the workshop format is we really get to dig in. We really get to kind of sit at tables in the rounds, smaller group, more time, and really delve into each of these topics. And I have never been to a conference that I haven't learned a dozen things from my peers. And so I have no doubt that in the workshop format, the delegates that attend are going to be able to really delve deeper into these key topics of managing people. And they're going to certainly learn from myself a little bit in more deep, chatter, but more importantly, in talking amongst their peers and, sharing not only mutual challenges, but also some solutions, because as we often know, there's answers sometimes right down the street, and we just don't have enough chance to talk about it until we get together, like events like yours.
And I really appreciate you setting it up like that. I think that for people that are thinking about the workshop and who might attend, look, I think we have an amazing array of private clubs in the state of Ohio. We've got Scioto, we've got Inverness, we've got Coldstream, we've got the Golf Club, we've got Double Eagle, an amazing group of private clubs, the NCR Club. Um, but I think it's going to be really cool to watch some of those clubs interact with the daily fee clubs and start to trade ideas about, because look, at the end of the day, labor is labor, right? And finding labor and motivating labor and all that kind of stuff. I certainly think that crosses all kinds of lines there.
Well, it does. And the other thing that crosses lines is customers' expectations. And we talk about it all the time, Mike, about post-COVID. When you do survey after survey, members' expectations match the expectations of just the customer out in the marketplace. And so if you operate a hospitality business, whether it's for members or whether it's for Mr. and Mrs. Smith that live down the block, their expectations have increased, their demands are increasing. We all know costs are increasing. So when you get into labor, you're totally right. Finding, training, managing, motivating, and rewarding people is the same no matter what your structure of club is. These are all HR kind of things, and that's the stuff that I love chatting about. It's the stuff that I, travel around the world talking about. Um, and there's universal truths. There just really is human nature, universal truths that motivating someone in Vancouver is no different than motivating someone in Ohio. I can assure
For
you that.
sure. And so, okay, so this workshop for people that don't know, that's going to be on Monday, March 2nd at Westbrook. That's going to run from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that's paid. Even if you're an OGCOA member, it's $75 to attend that. It's $100 for non-members. Then there's a cocktail hour afterwards, which is another really cool opportunity for everybody to network with each other and hang out and just kind of talk shop, so to speak. And so I think the cocktail hour will be fun as well. It'll be at the members bar there at Westbrook where the simulators are and this beautiful view looking over the golf course.
Mike, I'm in the hospitality business. And when you're in the hospitality business, you have satisfaction guarantees. So I'll tell you this right now. I will give any delegate that attends that workshop that doesn't feel that they got 75 or $100 worth, I will give them their money back. Okay. Because you can't tell me that you can't spend 4 hours with your peers talking about people that $100 or $75 is not going to come back to you in some way or another.
Now, and I will say too, it is limited. So it's first 40
Yes.
people in, first
Yes.
40,
Yeah.
and you wanted to stop it at 40 because you do want it to be intimate and it's a workshop and there's you just felt like we couldn't have 100 people in the room for a workshop like that.
You can. And one of the benefits of the workshop is that when I go to a table of 6 or 8 and say, what did you guys talk about? The other 32 get to hear,
Yeah.
right? That answers. You just can't do that in a room of 200 people, hopefully I won't tell the same jokes on Monday that I'm going to tell on Tuesday, but at the end of the day, there'll be different content that we'll get into on Monday that is not just touched upon at that deep level. Not to say that, believe me, for those that just come on Tuesday, with all the other great speakers that you've got lined up, I would say the same thing. You can't tell me you're going to not listen to something that you're going to be able to take away and it's going to improve your business and give you an ROI. And, you and I both know, Mike, going to conferences and attending conferences, I know it's an investment for them, whether it's travel, hotel, or the fees, everything else. Time is money, but educate. I always laugh. I always say to a GM when I'm being facetious or I'm being sarcastic, I go, so you spent 40 grand on bunker sand, but you didn't spend $400 on training your managers,
Right.
so how's that possible, right? In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so then we'll do the cocktail hour. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. There is actually lodging at Westbrook, and then of course there's hotels throughout Mansfield. Then we come back Tuesday, and you'll give this keynote. Now Tuesday is sponsored by Jonas Club Software, so we thank them for their sponsorship.
Awesome,
You'll go
guys.
through your keynote on Tuesday. When I was first starting to kind of re-engage with the association, I went to one of the meetings at Valley Air Golf Club run by Nicole, and a conversation broke out about cart waivers. These members were saying to me, we need to talk about cart waivers more. I had this accident, I had this incident. And then I started to do research on cart waivers, and I found you through a brand called eGolf Waiver.
Yeah. One of the platforms that we represent is a digital waiver platform out of Australia. They've got 160 clubs there now using it. We've just brought it to North America. We've had one season, dozens of clubs that have used it and are loving it. And we're going to have a special price for members of your association and your chapter, some preferred pricing. And by the way, when we still talk about it, the average price of a waiver for us and our platform is like less than a dime a waiver, so it's still incredibly inexpensive for a club to implement waivers. We have private clubs that implement them for their members once a year, but for guests and for tournament play. And then we have daily fee that use them for every golfer. So I'm happy to share more about that when we get there. But the other thing, is we have also a staff training platform called Golf Industry Guru. And we happen to have 40 clubs in Australia that use our platform, which is how we learned and got connected with eGolf Waiver. But our original platform is Golf Industry Guru. And on that platform, we have 270 hours and growing of training content from what I call gurus of the industry. So I think we're up to like 90 gurus. The people like the Melissa Hansons of the world and the Greg Pattersons of the world and Mike Holtzmans and all these experts in their field that we have their content and then we present it to clubs. And we're also going to offer everyone in your association, your chapter, a 90-day free trial. Our platform is literally a couple dollars a day for every employee to get access to our training platform. But we know that, we're in the software business and 9-day free trial, cancel anytime, all that stuff, right? Because if you go on the platform and you start to consume the content, we just know that our conversion rate is incredibly, incredibly high. So for us, getting a chance to promote our platform to your members, Mike, is a great opportunity, great value. Thank you. And we're going to offer all of your members a 90-day free trial. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions about the workshop or about Guru Collective or about waivers or about staff training or health and safety, I'm sure you've got my contact information somewhere, but it's James at gurucollective.ca, and I'll respond right away. And once again, look forward to seeing everybody in person, Mike, in 6 weeks.